Hi, I'm Gabby.
I'm Andrea.
And today we're going to be talking about the Bot 2 second edition. One thing that there is a complete form of this test, and then there is a short form. We're going to be showing you the complete form today. So just a little bit about this assessment. So the purpose of it is to provide an overview of fine and gross motor skills in children and young adults within school age range. So we're focusing on people from 4 years old to about 21 years old and 11 months.
And there's also different parts that this test assesses. So for example, it helps to test balance, so that's your vestibular. Also non-vestibular, your coordination, dexterity, functional mobility, gait, strength, upper extremity function, and this type of assessment is for a performance measure.
So in order to be qualified to administer this assessment, examiners with a background in occupational therapy, physical therapy, and developmental physical education or related fields to that, who have completed testing and measurement training may administer, score, and interpret the Bot 2.
So to also qualify to administer this exam, one is not limited to, but it would be beneficial if they had an educational diagnostician. It's a special education teacher and school or clinician psychologist. Hi, my name is Andrea and I'm the OTR today. And this is Gabby. We're first going over filling in shapes on item 1 from the fine motor perception part. So this is what the sheet looks like. There's a circle and a star on it. I'm going to first ask Gabby to hold the red pencil in her preferred hand, make sure it's a red pencil, and she's going to color in the circle as neatly as possible, staying within the lines. So first I'm going to demonstrate it to her. Hi, Gabby.
Hi, Andrea.
We have a circle here. You're going to use the red pencil in your preferred hand, and you're going to try to stay in the lines as best as possible. Okay? So just focus on the circle for now.
Okay. Can I start, or do I have to wait?
Yes, you can start when you're ready.
Okay. Should I stop after the circle?
Yes. Okay, great. So this is what Gabby did. She colored in the red circle and she stayed in the lines. Next, we're going to move on to the star. So I'm going to ask her again to stay within the lines, and she's going to use her preferred hand. Okay, so next item is the star. You're going to do the same thing, stay within the lines.
Okay.
Okay, great. And this is what the completed document would look like. So now I'm going to briefly discuss the scoring part. So you're going to record the score for each shape using the scoring diagrams to the right and to the guidelines below. So this is what the scoring diagram looks like. As you can see, they go from outside of the lines to inside of the lines. So if I were to score Gabby's, this is what hers looks like. She stayed completely in the lines, which would give her a scoring rate of 3. But also take note that there's 2 scores for each type of picture. So they might look very similar, so you want to stay on the scoring range. So after looking at the scoring diagram, you're going to go over to the scoring sheet, and you're going to go over to the correct assessment. And here it says number 1, filling in shapes, which is the circle. Gabby received a 3, so her raw score point would be 3. And then also for the filling in the other shape, which was the star, she also received a 3, which the raw point score would also be 3 as well. So now we're going to go over fine motor integration, and this one is called copying shapes. So on the page, I have a circle and a square. I'm going to ask Gabby to first copy the circle as exactly as possible with the shape and the size as well. So using a red pencil, I'm going to first demonstrate to Gabby to draw the circle exactly how it looks like up here. And once again, she's going to use her preferred hand. Okay, Gabby, so you're going to copy this circle with the same exact shape and size.
Okay.
Okay, great. And this is what her circle looks like. Next, I'm going to ask her to copy the square. So this is the square, Gabby. I'm going to have you draw it with the same exact shape and size.
Okay.
Okay, great. So this is what her square ended up looking like. So as you could see, she copied it exactly how the picture looks like above. So next I'm going to talk about how we would rate Gabby for the subtest. So if you look in the booklet, there's 4 different ways. So they would go basic shape, closure, edges, and their overall size. And if each subtest is correct, then the person would receive 1 point for their score. But also if they miss something, for example, if the circle doesn't have closure, they would receive 0. Now transferring over to the scoring sheet, Gabby received all 1s. So since there's 4 subtests, she would have a total raw score of 4 for the circle. And she also received 1 point for each section. So since there's 4, she would have a raw score of 4 as well for the square. And also if someone received a 0 for the basic shape, they would get a 0 in all the other categories as well. So now we're going to go over manual dexterity, specifically doing the pegboard. I'm going to place the pegboard box in front of Gabby, and the pegs are going to be on her preferred side. So since she's right-handed, I'm going to place the pegs on her right side. She could also use her left hand to hold down the board so that it doesn't slide anywhere. I'm going to demonstrate to Gabby how to put the pegs in the board, and then I'm going to ask her to demonstrate it doing it, putting in 3 pegs. So Gabby, you're going to pick up the pegs with your preferred hand, and you're going to place them into the pegboard. If any of them fall off the table, do not pick them up. Do not try to reach for any that roll away. Okay? So if you could try to put 3 in. Okay, great. Now you could take them out. And this time I'm going to use a stopwatch, and I'm going to record you for about 15 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
All right, you're going to tell me when to go, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Set, go. And stop. Okay, so you received 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, you're going to take them out, and we're going to do a second trial. So once again, you're going to use your preferred hand. You could use your left hand if you want to hold down the pegboard, and you have 15 seconds. I'll let you know when to start and to stop. Ready, set, go. And stop. Okay, let's count. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, great. Now you can take them out. So now we're going to go over the scoring sheet. Under here, we recorded Gabby's first score, which was a 9, and then on her second trial, she received a 10. So you would take the higher score between the two. So since she received a 10, you go over to the raw score, and underneath the 10, she would receive 8 points. So for Gabby's point score, she received 8, which is written down. Okay, so the next subtest that we're going to practice for manual dexterity is called stringing blocks. So I'm going to use my preferred hand, and I'm going to show to Gabby how to string the blocks. So I'm going to place the string through the hole through the box, and I'm going to do that for 15 seconds. Okay, So you're going to use your preferred hand, and then you're going to string the blocks. If any blocks fall on the ground, do not pick them up, and just pick up one block at a time. Can you try 3 times for me?
Sure.
Okay, great. Now you can take them off, and I'm going to time you for 15 seconds. I'll let you know when to start and when to stop.
Okay.
Ready, set, go. And stop. Okay, great. Let's count how many blocks you have. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 blocks. So now we're going to do a second trial, same thing. Okay, ready, set, go. And stop. Okay, great. Let's count how many blocks you have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 this time. Okay, now we're going to move on to score. Okay, so now we're going to move over to the recording sheet. So Gabby received an 8 the first time and a 7 the second time. So we would take the higher score between the two. So 8 being higher, we would move over to her raw score, and underneath the 8, she would receive 7 points, which is what is recorded down on the sheet. So the next subtest that we're going to work on is bilateral coordination. This one is touching your index finger to the tip of your nose. So I'm going to demonstrate the motion. So I'm going to have my hands out, my pointer fingers pointing out with my other fingers curled in. I'm going to have my eyes closed, and I'm going to do 4 times bringing my index finger to the tip of my nose. So it's going to look like this. Okay? And I'm going to have Gabby do it.
Okay.
So you're going to do it 4 times. Ready, set, go. So next I'm going to talk about scoring for this subtest. So I'm going to record the number of correct touches, which would be up to 4, which Gabby did. And the only time that you would do a second trial is if your client had incorrect touches. So for example, if they opened their eyes, if they didn't touch the tip of their nose, if they didn't extend their arms out fully. And then you would record it on your scoring sheet. So since Gabby did 4 correct touches, she received a score of 4. So continuing with bilateral coordination, we're going to work on jumping jacks. So I'm going to demonstrate to Gabby how to do a jumping jack, and then I'm going to ask her to do it as well. Okay? So Gabby, we're going to work on jumping jacks. I'm going to demonstrate it to you, and then I want you to do the same. Ready? So it's going to look something like this. Okay?
Okay. So
Ready?
you want to go?
Yes. Ready, set, go. Perfect. So next I'm going to talk about scoring for this subtest. So I'm going to record the number of correct jumping jacks, which is up to 5, which Gabby did. And the only time that you would do a second trial is if there was an incorrect jump, or if their legs were apart, if their arms are swinging. In this case, since Gabby did 5 correct jumping jacks, she received a raw score of 5, and then her points would be 3. So recorded down, she has 3 points for this section.
Hi, I'm Gabby. I'm going to be the OTR in this session, and this is Andrea, my client. Okay, so this part focuses on balance. So we're going to be doing item number 1, which is standing with feet apart on a line, eyes open. And for this part, there's going to be a line on the floor. She's going to stand with her feet together, preferred foot on the parallel to the line. Then she's going to put her hands on her hips, and then she's going to take one natural step forward, placing the non-preferred foot on the other parallel line, which is going straight this way. And she's going to be looking at a target or straight ahead at the wall. And I'm going to be timing her for this part as well. Okay, Andrea, so this part, do you see the line on the floor?
Yep.
Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to start in this position. You want your hands on your hips, and you're going to take your preferred foot, put it on the line,
Okay.
and then take a natural step forward and put the other foot on the line. And I just want you to stand on this line until I tell you to stop, okay?
Okay.
Okay, so you could get into position.
Okay.
And when I tell you to go, so you could actually put your other non-preferred leg forward.
Okay.
And then when I tell you to go, just stand there, okay? And make sure you stare at the wall ahead of you.
Okay.
All right, ready? On your mark, get set, go. Okay, good. You can stop. Okay, Andrea, good job. So for this part, we're going to be talking about scoring. So in order to score this part, you're looking for a max of raw score of 10 seconds for her to be able to stand on the line. So what I would do is I would round the number that she was on there to the nearest tenth. In this case, she did stand on there for 10 seconds and she did not make any mistakes. I would stop the trial after 10 seconds if she either failed to keep her hands on her hips or moved away from the line as well. And then in regards to this scoring sheet, so on here, I would only conduct a second trial. So there's trial 1, trial 2, and I would only conduct the second trial if she made any mistakes the first time. So in this case, for this subtest, she did 10 seconds. So in the raw score, I would put 10 seconds down, and then I would convert the raw score into a point. So here, 10 seconds is equal to 4 points. Therefore, I would write 4 in the bubble right here. Okay, so for item number 3, it's called standing on one leg in line with her eyes open. So Andrea, for this part, what you're going to do is you're going to have both feet, so we're going to go back to the line, you're going to have both feet together. Your preferred foot is going to be on the parallel line. You're going to put your hands on your hips again, and then you're going to lift the non-preferred leg up, so at a 90-degree angle. So you want your shin parallel to the floor, and you're also going to want to look at the target. In this case, you want to look straight ahead at the door, and then I will also time you for this, okay? Okay, so let me demonstrate for you first so you know exactly how to do this. So you're going to go stand by the line. You're going to put your preferred leg on the line, okay? And then your non-preferred leg, you're going to lift up at a 90-degree angle just like this with your hands on your hips. And then your eyes are going to be open and you stare forward at the target. So since we're facing the other way, you look at the window, okay? And you just stand there like that until I tell you to stop. I will time you in this. Okay?
Okay.
All right, so when I say go, hold on one second. All right, on the count of 3, get into position. So 1, 2, 3, go. Perfect. You could stop. Okay, so for this item, we also wanted to check how long she could stand on her one leg. So we're looking for a max of 10 seconds, and the way I would do it is I would record and then I would stop and I would round it again to the nearest tenth that she maintained in proper form. And if she was incorrect, I would stop and then do another trial. So if she fails to keep her leg raised, or if it's not at least 45 degrees parallel to the ground, then I would also have to retrial. And then once I go to the scoring sheet, there's box trial 1 and box trial 2. So I would put a total of 10 seconds in the first box, and I didn't have to retrial because she did get 10 seconds and she was able to maintain proper form. Then I would convert the raw score from 10, and then it gives you a point score on the bottom. So I would circle the 4, and then I would place 4 in this bubble and score appropriately. Okay, so for the next subtest, we're going to be focusing on running speed and agility. And Andrea, you're going to be doing the one-legged side hop for me today. So what you're going to do is we're going to use the line again that we used previously. You're going to stand together with your feet together next to the parallel line. Then you're going to place your hand on your hips just like you did before.
Okay.
And then you're going to raise your non-preferred leg behind you, with your knee bent at 90 degrees and your shin parallel to the floor, just like we did in the other one. And then what you're going to do is you're going to hop back and forth over the line, maintaining proper form that we just explained when you're doing the hop, okay? If needed, just so you know, make smaller hops, just big enough to get over the line. You don't have to do crazy jumps, okay? So, so this is I'm going to show you, just so you know, and then I'll let you do it, okay? So we're going to start on one side of the line. Then you're going to lift your non-preferred leg, hands on the hips, just like this, okay? And then when I say go, you're going to hop over the line. Ready? So like this. Okay?
Okay.
So I'm going to time you. And I want to see how you could do, okay? So when I say go, all right, on a count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so Andrea, I want you to do the same exact thing. We're going to do it one more time, okay?
Okay.
All right, so when I say go, you can begin. So get into position, ready, and go. Okay, good job. Okay, so to score this part, we are going to be focusing on the amount of jumps that she did within 15 seconds. So a hop is incorrect if she touches the raised foot to the floor, fails to keep her hands on her hips, fails to attain sideways movement of at least 4 inches, and if she failed to stay in proper form, then we would reconduct a trial. But in her case, she actually did stumble at the end, and that does call for a retrial, which is why we redid it again. So the first time she did it, before she stumbled, she got 10 hops, and then we retested her, and then she got 14 hops. So in this case, the way I would score her on the sheet, trial 1, I would put 10, trial 2, I would put 14, and you usually take the better of the 2 trials. So then, in order to convert the raw score into a point score, there is ranges on here. So 14 would fall between the 10 to 14 range, and that's a point score of 4. Therefore, I would write 4 here, and then I would score accordingly. Okay, so for this next test, we're going to be doing a 2-legged side hop, so very similar to the last one that we did, except this time she'll be using 2 legs. I will be timing her as well. She needs to stand with her feet together, no more than 2 inches apart, next to the parallel line on one side. She's going to place her hands on her hips, and then she's going to hop back and forth over the line using 2 feet at once. And again, you don't need to use any crazy jumps, so just as long as you get over the line, and we'll go from there. Okay, so I'm going to demonstrate for you first, so you know exactly what you need to do. So you stand with your feet together, at least 2 inches apart, okay? So you're going to be on one side of the line with both legs, hands on your hips, and then when I say go, you're just going to hop over the line. So like this. Okay?
Okay.
Until I tell you to stop. All right, give me 1 sec. Okay. All right, ready? On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, you can stop. Okay, so for the scoring piece of this, I was also looking at how many hops you can get in 15 seconds. So again, if she made any mistakes, so if she failed to keep her feet together, failed to keep her hands on her hips, or she stumbled or spread her feet apart, or jumped on the line itself, then I would call for a retrial. But in this case, she did it great. She had 14 hops, side to side, no errors. Therefore, when I go to score it on the sheet, I would only put it in box trial number 1. So in this case, 14 hops, and then I would convert that to the raw score into a point score. So I would look for the interval. So the interval is 10 to 14, which is 4 points. Would put the 4 points in this bubble, and then I would score accordingly. Okay, so moving on to the next part, we're going to be focusing on subtest 7, which is upper limb coordination. And in this item number 2, we're going to be catching a tossed ball with both hands. So in this case, we have our tennis ball that we're going to be tossing, and Andrea is going to be catching. So Andrea, what we're going to do is you're just going to stand behind the line. Okay. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to be about 10 feet away from you, and I'm going to throw you the ball. What I want you to do is I want you to stand a little bit feet apart, hands up just like this, and I want you to catch the ball. Okay. Okay? So I want to see how many times you can catch it with both hands, all right? Okay. Okay, so what I'm going to do is we're going to have a practice run. I'm going to throw you the ball. You're going to stand just like that, and you're going to catch with both hands for me, okay? Okay. All right, so ready? Ready. This is just a practice round. Okay. All right, good job. Throw it back. I'll do one more time. All right, good job. All right, so now I'm going to tell you to go. When I tell you to go, you catch as many times as you can, all right? Okay. If it falls, you can pick it back up, and then we'll start again. Okay. All righty? Ready? Ready. Okay, so in order to score that part of the test, I'm looking for up to 5 good catches. There is a disclaimer, though, that the catches do not have to be consecutive. So a catch is considered incorrect if she either traps the ball against her body to catch it or catches the ball with one hand, because we are looking for a 2-hand catch. And if she were to make a mistake, then I would just re-administer the test and do a second trial. But in this case, she did get 5 perfect catches, so I would then transfer that to the scoring sheet. So again, what I would do is I would put the number of catches that she had, so 5 catches, and then I would convert the raw score. So 5 raw score converts to 5 points here. So then I would put 5 in the point score circle. Okay, so for the last subtest of this, it's called strength, and we're going to be doing something called a V-up, all right? Okay. So what that is you're going to lie face down on the floor with your arms extended forward. So you're going to be basically in like a Superman position, okay? Okay. With your legs extended behind you and your feet touching the floor. You're going to raise your head and your chest and your arms and legs off the floor. And your shoulders and knees must be raised at least 2 inches off the floor, okay? So I will demonstrate for you first so you know how to do it, and then you will try, okay? Okay. So for this part, you're going to lay in this position, all right? So when I tell you to go, so again, in Superman position, and when I tell you to go, you're going to lift your arms and legs up just like this, okay? And you're going to stay until I tell you to stop. Okay. Okay? So you can get into position. Okay, so when I tell you to go, you're going to get into that position for me, and you'll stop when I tell you to stop, okay? Okay. Ready? And go. Okay, so as far as scoring, raw scores are then converted to point scores, which we kind of briefly discussed in the previous videos. And so it's done by looking at a conversion chart included next to each item on the record form. We were not able to score the full test completely because we did only do certain items of each subtest. So in order to completely get the right, result, you would need to do each and every single part. Therefore, we will discuss how to properly score the full thing in a general sense in the next video.
Okay, so during each test, we recorded the raw score, and then you would then find the total score. So once you find the total score, you would bring it to the front, and you would record the total scores in the front as well, which would bring you to the scale score and then the standard score as well. So subtest total scores are then calculated by summing the point of the actual scores for each individual item of that particular subtest. So then after this scale, then the scores can be better determined, as it can compose to more of a standard score. And this is when the ranks and the final total motor composite scores are then calculated. And this would include like the age, the confidence intervals, and the description categories then can be assigned as well.
And just to show you a better example, this is what a completed, graded front page of the scoring sheet looks like, just so you can get an idea.